Alright, it's time that I review something a bit more mature, something a bit dark, something like a horror game. I just watched the Devil May Cry Netflix series, I got the Devil May Cry HD collection, let's play Devil May Cry!
Let's rock, baby.
Devil May Cry is an action-adventure game developed and published by Capcom in 2001. It is the first installment in the Devil May Cry series, and it is awesome. No, I'm not reviewing a horror game today. So, let me just say that before now, I had never played a single Devil May Cry game before. Like, if I could explain what my knowledge of the Devil May Cry series was, I knew this clip was from it. Look, that was it. I knew it existed, and that was it. Until I watched the Devil May Cry Netflix series, which, first off, you need to be old enough to watch it. The Devil May Cry Netflix series I thought was pretty good. I'm not sure what you thought of it, but if it got me wanting to play the game, then it did something right. Anyway, I got the Devil May Cry HD collection because I wanted to play it, because I wanted to play Devil May Cry and I wanted to start at the beginning. And now we're at my review part. It's time to play Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry. I really like the intro to this game. It sets up the game really well and the visuals are pretty good. To sum it up though, about a millennium ago there was an all-out war between Earth and the underworld. One underworld soldier, Sparta, realized the horrors that would happen if the underworld won, so he switched sides to fight for the Earth. He eventually sealed the underworld away and lived his life on Earth up until his death. In the present, Devil Hunter Dante, the son of Sparta, works under his business Devil May Cry. So that's why it's called Devil May Cry. Anyway, this lady, Trish, bursts through the door just to see Dante and reveals she knows his backstory.
You're the man who lost a mother and a brother to evil 20 years ago. The son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta, Mr. Dante.
She then kicks his ass. And then this scene plays.
Sword. Time to go to work, guys.
We're not even at the gameplay and I already love this game. Anyway, she begins to explain that the king of the underworld, Mundus, has gotten back his power and is ready to break through the seal into our world inside this castle on Malay Island. So we have to stop him. And with that, here we are in the game. I like the transition from cutscene to gameplay. It's so smooth, and the gameplay is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, at the start, the controls in terms of traversal, like jumping and running, felt weird to me, but I've gotten used to it. Plus the game controls pretty nicely. You can run around and jump really high. With walking, in terms of the level of terrain you're on, if it's like a steep cliff, then you're stuck on that level of terrain until you jump from it. It's not inherently a bad thing. I think if I wasn't stuck to the terrain, I would be falling off a lot more, especially with this game using fixed camera angles. So, my main, pet peeve with the fixed camera angles, the movement here is pretty finicky. How so? Since the type of movement you're using is full analog controls, which with fixed camera angles can screw up sometimes because what was once you moving in one direction becomes another direction the moment the camera angle changes. Thankfully, they mitigated the issue by locking your input until you move the analog stick whenever the camera angle changes, which works fine. For jumping, when you're moving, you're locked in that direction when you jump. This also gets kind of messy, specifically when there's platforming challenges. At least it's not the worst jump in the world, and it's not like this game requires you to handle platforming nigh impossible for your jump. You also have the ability to jump off walls or wall kick once. You can use this to jump up walls and such to reach another area of the map. Honestly, it's pretty good. I just have a hard time controlling it when I'm using it to jump away from the wall. Anyway, once we enter the castle, it leads us to mission 1. This game is split up into missions. There's a total of about 23 missions. I think I'm close. I hope I'm close. This mission screen is cool. It definitely helps convey what the task of the mission is and that's nice. All of these missions take place over the course of a giant castle and other locations you're exploring to try and find a way to stop Mundus. Something I'd like to say about the castle, I think it's a remnant of when this was going to be a Resident Evil 4 game. Like, I mean, like, with the fixed camera angles and everything, and also the... I really like the atmosphere of this game. It really fits the vibes of the castle, being this place that has been abandoned for most likely years. The art direction too, they go hand in hand together to make this an eerie place where nobody is around. A lot of this game is spent with you being on your own until a demon appears and then you gotta deal with it, but I'm not ready to talk about the combat yet. I like a lot of the area designs, whether they be really cool or unnerving, and then having a really cool scene that catches me off guard. As I'm writing this now, I wish I could go back to when I was new to this game because I really liked being caught off guard by several moments throughout the game. Now I can just predict that I'm going to be struck by lightning. And the tracks used in these scenes really match the mood of the area. The main castle area, for example. It has this brooding track that goes on in the background since this castle has been dark and abandoned for years. But then at certain points, random songs break in as like remnants from the past, like what sounds like a distant castle theme and a distant church proceeding happening in the cathedral. That's really cool. Also the cathedral, this place goes hard. I was in awe a lot of the time. Everything was so cool. And the combat rocked. I'm sure that later entries have improved combat and all that, like that's a given with sequels. But so far I've played only the first game, and I think the combat is pretty good. So holding down the RB button, or R1 in my case, I use the PS4 controller, enters combat mode. Here in combat mode, you can use your ranged weapon and your melee weapon with its extra moves. You can use your melee weapon outside of combat, mainly with these certain symbols where you can charge it up in order to use a platform or to unlock a door, or make a later boss tangible. You can also pull out multiple moves and combo them together to raise your combo all the way to stylish. It's very difficult to keep your combo up, so you have to keep landing hits on enemies before the combo timer runs out. You're able to prolong the combo with the ranged weapon, that is, well, I think when you send an enemy into the air and then use it. Also, when you jump, you can suspend yourself in the air by using the base ranged weapon, and you don't even need to enter combat mode for it. Later on, you get some newer melee weapons, which unlock your inner demon. This is the Devil Trigger, a state where your attacks are stronger, you gain a special attribute from your equipped weapon, and every successful hit regenerates a little health. It's also easier to maintain your combo. You can extend this meter by getting purple orbs in the shop or maybe somewhere on the map. I don't know, it's my first time playing a Devil May Cry game. The Devil Trigger is something that half demons and full demons can utilize, which expands their abilities, but only in the harder game modes will any other demon enemies use the Devil Trigger like you can. Okay, so here's a rundown of what the other orbs do because I don't know where to put this in. Red orbs basically unlock new abilities for you at specific points or on the mission screen. They're also used on some spirit locks on doors. I don't think that's what they're called, let's just go with it. And can also be used to buy things like health items and screen wipes and such. Yellow orbs are lives, to put it simply. You can find some of these in places on the map. You can also buy them in the shop. Green orbs refill your health. They drop from enemies and can be found in places on the map. Blue orbs extend your life force. You can buy full ones in the shop, or you can find shards around the map. 4 shards make 1 full blue orb that extends your health. That kind of sounds like the Zelda heart pieces. I also like the pickup animation for literally anything. Okay, I just talked about the combat, and also the orbs. I'm trying my best to keep this structured. I don't know where to go from here. Oh yeah, I really like the music. The music goes so hard. I mean, the atmospheric tracks sound really good and work for the scene, but then when an enemy appears or you enter a boss fight, the electric guitar kicks in. I also like the usage of piano organ in some songs. It's one of those additions that just really works. So yeah, I really did like this game. It was fun. I liked the gameplay, I liked the atmosphere, I liked the music, I liked the story. I forgot the story. I'm kind of glad I watched the Devil May Cry Netflix series, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have checked out this game series ever. Okay, maybe at some point I probably would have, but seriously, I'm glad I played this. I found my new favorite series to put it up there with my other favorites. If you're interested in checking out Devil May Cry 1, there's the original PS2 version. You can get it if you have a PlayStation 2. There's also the Devil May Cry HD collection that you can get for PC and consoles that aren't a Nintendo console. And there's one more version, that being the Switch version of Devil May Cry 1. Also, keep in mind, rated M for mature. All in all, I enjoyed my time with the game. I found the combat to be really fun. I wasn't expecting it to be pretty short. It's like 6 to 8-ish hours, but there's a lot of replay value since there's a new game plus, and there's more stuff to be found, so that's cool. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was probably very bizarre seeing me go from Mario Paint to Devil May Cry, and also the start of this video. Look, I just wanted to talk about this game. Anyway, thanks for watching. Maybe next time I'll go over the second game, a game that I haven't heard a lot of good things about. Yippee!